Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode here on Styx and Bones with your ghost host, Chelsea and Tenn. Hi, Tenn. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good, just living the girls type of life. We have such a fun episode today. I know we're going to be talking about, what are the girls doing with Hekate. It's been good. I can't believe one that it is like we're moving so far into the year already. I feel like I know you and I have already talked about how long January felt and was, but also went by so fast at the same time. Like I feel like I've aged, but also like haven't. It's so weird. I don't know how to describe it.
No, I know what you mean. February goes by so fast. January is so slow. Then the blink of an eye, February is almost over. And as two people who run a business based on the seasons and the solstices and the equinoxes, it's going by too fast.
It's too fast
I
and
can't
I
handle it.
can't handle all the great things. And then we look at our calendars and we're like, Chelsea, we got to start planning for Halloween right now. Like we're already behind.
No, we do. And this is at the beginning of the episode, I'm just gonna say it. Spring mystery box pre-sale is dropping on February 26th. So gird your loins. We are starting with pre-sale first because we are offering more spring boxes this year because they're always sold out and you guys always want them.
Yeah.
So Ted and I are starting early this year. So anyway, mark that on your calendar, follow us on social media for reminders, and we are going to be showing some sneak previews of our spring line, which is based heavily on Persephone and Demeter and Hecate. So it's perfect for today's episode.
Persephone, Demeter, Hecate, cult of Dionysus, cult of Isis. It's
Yeah.
mystery cult season. That's really what spring is, mystery cult season.
I know. And this is a friendly reminder to go back to the episodes where we talked about Eleusis, which is a mystery religion, mystery occult, and the cult of Dionysus, which the girls loved those episodes. Like we said, someone messaged us and was like, how do I get initiated into the cult of Dionysus? And I was like, girl, same. I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know.
do those. I don't provide those services. I am not devoted to Dionysus in such a way where I'm a maenad, but I'm sure
But
someone out there.
the girls could become main ads this year. I don't know.
Honestly, seeing goat penises as part of a ritual. I don't know if I'm about that life. I thought I
I
was.
don't
I take that back.
I'd like to respectfully, rescind my desire to also be initiated, only because like when we talked about the possible initiation scene coming from the Villa of the Mysteries in Pompeii, I'm like, I don't want to be flogged. Like, I don't think I'm into that. I'm gonna have to
No.
respectfully decline.
Yeah, I do respect the hell out of Dionysus because his mystery cult was very, very dedicated to him and the things that they do there. And he's fascinating. I'm a Dionysus enthusiast. I love him very much. I love everything about his iconography. And because I'm from Jersey and he has what is it, leopard print? He has the leopard
Yes.
print. I'm like, yes, he is a New Jersey queen.
He is all about pomp and circumstance, and like the leopard print really kind of highlights him coming from the east because of his mythology of why he had to leave Mount Olympus and everything. So it's really fitting, but super just it's a frenzy truly from start to finish with the cult of Dionysus. But yeah, life's been going good. Can't wait to start teaching again. Hoping that everybody is loving and enjoying the Hekate 101 course that
Oh
Chelsea and
yeah.
I dropped. We're going to be talking a little bit about that later on in like why we kind of started this university, mission statements, all of the good things for the girls. And yeah, how are you, Chelsea? What's going on in the land of Chelsea?
How am I? We always kind of forget to answer that question because we're always just talking about something crazy. I just I press record and I'm I'm here to share my theories and all of this knowledge and information that I've researched for today. No,
Yes.
how am I? I'm doing really good. I've been super excited because I have moved into a place where I'm actually helping clients with paranormal activity and hauntings in their house, which oh my God, I love. I love it's my favorite. You guys know you've been here. I would not be a ghost host without being a purveyor of ghosts. It's my favorite thing. So I actually had, and this is a really crazy story for all you animal lovers. I had this one client reach out to me and they were like, hey Chelsea, I'm pretty sure I have paranormal activity in my house. My dog is always barking in the corner. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to get it to stop. I've tried to set boundaries with it. It won't stop. It's just haunting my house and weird things are going on. So I go to do the reading and it was this dog, this German shepherd. And it was so cute.
No.
And I was like, "Well, it's not listening to you because it's a dog. So, like, you have to treat it like a dog because the spirit is a dog. Like, it's a dog spirit." And
Yeah.
I was just like, "Whose dog is this?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is going on with this dog? What do we do with it? So I told the girl, I was like, "You can ask Hekate for help," because I knew she like worshiped the Chthonic because Hekate is associated with dogs and the restless dead. Or it seems like it wants to stay in your house. And she emailed me back with a picture of her German Shepherd that had passed away in the house. And she was like, "It's my dog that passed away in the house." And I had no idea it was here. And when I tell you I was crying, like,
Sobbing. It's like when you come across those really sad videos on Instagram and you can't help but continue to watch and then you're crying with strangers on the internet. Yeah.
oh my God, she sent me a photo of her dog and I had seen the dog because I was connecting with it. And it was like, it was so cute, but so sad because I was trying to get this person's attention. And the client sent me a photo of their dog. And I was like, it's the dog.
I'm not well.
I know. It was really cute. It was really cute, but it like made that person's day, like to know the dog was still there. But I'm like, oh, not the dog.
Not the
Animal spirits, just like we've talked about this, just like get me to my core. Like I can't, I talk to dead people a lot, but when it comes to animals, it's like,
game over.
I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's like when I watch TV shows, I'm like, like Game of Thrones, like people can die, whatever. But if the dog dies, no, I'm not watching anymore. Mm-mm.
No, no. See you later. I won't. Like I told Ten this. I was scrolling on Instagram and like I saw a really sad story about a cat and dude, I was straight sobbing. Like I had to put my phone down and it was an uncontrollable sob.
Yes.
Like, like
Like,
I can't even think about it.
no, I'll start crying. Like, and then I have to look at Kevin and I have to like suck it up and like suck up my own tears that I'm crying on the couch and then be like, yeah, I can't look at Kevin because he'll be like, why did you watch something sad? And I'll be like, I don't know.
Okay.
It's who I am as a person.
This is a really crazy fun fact about me, but like when I was like in high school and I don't know, in high school you're just going through like weird phases of life.
Yes.
One thing I would do, and like I don't recommend this to anybody. They're very heartwarming, but also like it's sad. I would watch soldiers come home from war and surprise their kids and their parents. Oh yeah, no, it's don't do it. And thank you to those of you out there who do serve. We appreciate you and thank you for your service. But like watching those videos, oh my, and the little kids are running to them, and they haven't seen them in months, and I'm just sobbing. Like,
Crying with strangers on the internet is my favorite pastime.
fun fact about me, just a little fun fact. Like me and Ten watch sad videos in our free time.
Oh my God, what was it? I was scrolling on Instagram last night and I saw something about like Uncle Iroh from Avatar and like Zuko reuniting in like the afterworld. And I was just like, I'm not
No,
well.
no.
I need to go to bed. I need to go hug a cat. And I need to go. Or my favorite thing to do is try and break up with Kevin for 5 minutes so I can listen to some like heart wrenching like breakup music and really just enjoy it and
Yeah,
really
yeah,
understand the artist's creative process.
yeah.
Like when Kelly Clarkson came out with Karaoke and redid some Billie Eilish songs. And I was like, please, can you just please divorce me for 5 minutes so I can go under the shower stream and I can just feel this in my heart and soul,
It's
please.
just girly things. Like, it's just girly things. We just want to feel the pain. No, I get it. I felt like that the other day. Like sometimes Lana Del Rey makes me like I'm not in like a painful place in life. And I'm just like, damn, this song doesn't hit like it used to. Like, damn it. But I don't wish that. I don't wish that on myself.
No,
Wish it on
thankful,
myself.
blessed, however you want to put it, but like
I've
also
been through enough shit. We've been through enough things between the both of us for like a whole lifetime. So I'm good. But like, yeah, sometimes you just want to feel like you just want to feel the emotions behind the song. Anyway, that's what Chelsea and Tenn are doing. This is really what the girls are doing. Talking about Hekate and watching sad videos and listening to crazy music.
and listening to crazy music, back on the Bachelor nonsense and watching all of that nonsense and drama and thinking, wow, okay, my
Yeah.
life's pretty okay.
This is what these are their stories.
Gung gung.
Yeah. But anyway, shall we talk about why everybody's here?
Why are the girls here, Chelsea?
The girls are here because the girls want to know more about Hekate, and boy, does Hen and I deliver. We heard you loud and clear when you said 3 podcast episodes of Hekate and all of your social media content is not enough. We need more. And you know what? I respect it because I too love more Hekate.
Yeah.
So before we even start, got a round of applause for Tenn and I. We opened up Styx and Bones University. Um, we have an entire 101 Hekate course that we worked for months, filming and recording and deciding and doing research for it. We are so happy to be able to share our love of Hekate herself as people who venerate and worship her and devote a lot of their time and life to her, in her service, if you will. And we are just very excited. So our course is now open and we're stoked.
Yeah, super stoked. And honestly, why we wanted to start this was to really make learning and kind of anything that you can imagine that, Chelsea and I specialize in, make it accessible because accessibility is such a huge thing for us. Um, and we understand that so many people are not in college, in school, in anything right now because one, who has the money to go back to school? Like
Not me, I tell you that.
in this economy? No.
I'm not trying to pay $400 for a textbook again. That was like, you
That's
know,
obscene.
that is just like insane. And this is gonna be a whole nother podcast for another day, but I have a bone to pick with the US education system and the pricing of everything. And that's that. But anyway, continue.
So we wanted to put all of our skills and brains together to really come up with aspects that we want to talk about. And yeah, Hekate 101 is our baby. And we really wanted to hyperfixate on a lot of misinformations that have so many people in chokeholds. And
Yeah,
Chelsea and
it's weird.
I wish like I was like a sociology major in all of my extra free time and could just understand why certain aspects of misinformation or of pseudo facts, pseudo science, pseudo history, anything like that. Why do certain things capture and why do other things, not? Like it's so weird to me, you know?
Yeah, we definitely touch upon misconceptions, which I know is going to ruffle some feathers, but a lot of what I see about Hekate today is very much like new age spirituality, and it's not correct. And I'm going to say appropriate to like combine an ancient goddess with those sorts of ideas. And I always say, because people always ask me, how do you like get to know Hekate? You have to know who she is. Like with anything, like know who she is. And like, a few misconceptions. Like she's not a goddess of the moon. I see that all the time. She's not the mother maiden crone, which I probably say on every podcast episode. I'm just
Oh
gonna open
my
up Six and
God.
Bones. Hekate is not the mother maiden and crone. That comes from a poem. That's just like a very weird thing that people have captured.
Oh my
And
God.
there's just like a lot, like even her strophilos. Tenn and I talk all about this in the course. Her iconography with like her breasts being shown in statues. Now that's not to say, Hellenism is being reconstructed, but like removing Hecate from her roots is not appropriate. And like it's very important to us that we bring light to who she really is because that's how you know her. That's how you worship her. She has so many different titles and epithets, and like she's so fascinating. I don't know why we try to make her something she's not when she's cool just how she is. Like she has so many different things about her. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but it's all in our course if you're interested.
Oh, like the whole like red string deep dive academic blackout version of all of these topics and more are there for your viewing and educational pleasure. The Mother, Maiden, and Crone, before we move on into other topics of misconceptions, it's so interesting because outside of the realm of religious studies, spiritual spaces, spiritual practices, whatever you want to call them, anything like that, it's utterly fascinating that this kind of quote unquote aspect of Hekate as Mother, Maiden, Crone has made it into like the book side of social media because, and for anybody out there who is Sarah J. Moss Stan, and you're Akatar girly, you're a Throne of Glass girly, you're a Crescent City girly, whatever have you, there have been so many theories prior to Crescent City 3 being released that the three-faced goddess in the Throne of Glass series, and I'm not going to say any spoilers for anybody, is Hekate because she is the Mother, Maiden, and Crone. And the way I want to shriek and
Mhm.
throw my phone and just scream in archaeology that this is not correct, because now it's even come into like book talk, books of Instagram, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, no, don't you do this to Akatar and Throne of Glass. Don't you dare.
Well, it's like when you know the truth about it, it kind of ruins everything for you because like it comes from a poem from a man who categorized the phases of life as a woman as either being a maiden, a mother, and a crone. We are only those three things and cannot be any more, and we are not less. You have to be a maiden, you have to be a mother, and then you turn into a decrepit old crone. Now I know Tiny and I use the word crone here, but we do it to poke fun. Because witches are always depicted as crones, but it's like, why are we hyping this up when it's like a very weird way and perception to look at women? Like, why do you want to be the mother, maiden, and crone? And why do we want a goddess to be that? Like, she's only three things.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, Hekate is not just three things. So
She's
today,
so many.
what epithet are we talking about Hekate today? Like one of her names that I feel like no one is talking about online except me and you.
The girlies are not talking about the good things, the good news of Hekate, not as the mother, maiden, and crone. Begone, you mother, maiden, and crone. But we are talking about Hekate in a different aspect, not even Chthoniya, not even anything like that. We're
Oh no,
talking about
that one's too basic for us at this point because everybody knows about that one. This one we're going to talk about today is going to send y'all and be like, I need this in my house and I need to worship this epithet and work with her in this aspect. That's right. Continue.
absolutely, because and the girls who get it because it's Hekate Propylaea.
That's right.
And Propylaea is utterly fascinating. And I'm not going to go into my deep dive aspect of titles and epithets. You can join me on that journey in Hekate 101. But the aspect of Propylaea is so underused and it's utterly fascinating because even when you look at the translation, transliteration, what does this epithet actually mean? It's so multifaceted in of itself that it's used a certain way in artwork, it's used a certain way in the architectural setup of settlements and everything. It's used in so many different ways, just as a reminder, because everyday life and religion, there was no separation of church and state back in the day, right? So this epithet is so multifaceted and multidimensional that this is what the girls need to be using.
Oh, I'm here for it. And I'm going to show you for those of you that are on YouTube. See, Pluto, he knew we were talking about Hekate and he immediately came over here. Look, here he comes. Here he comes. Excuse me. I have to show the girls the candle, Pluto. This candle is going to be in our store as a prototype, but I want to show you guys like the imagery of Hekate Propylaea. Okay. She is facing three ways and not as the mother, maiden, and crone. This is a epithet of protection and a mobile protection. Like you would have had a statue and you would have had it outside of city gates, things like that for protection. So you can use this. Look at Pluto. He said, we're talking about my girl, Hekate. I must show up, right? You love her. But you can use this in your house as protection. Hekate, if anything, is known as a protector and a guardian in so many different ways, whether it's moving or whether it's immobile, like when she helps Persephone, right? That's moving through things. But this is almost like undeniably immobile protection that you can have. So you can like place any sort of three-way statue of Hekate like this. She would have been associated with terracotta, right, Tom?
So a lot of her statues were made out of terracotta. So not that she was associated, but
That's what I meant. Like it was made out of terracotta.
a lot of early artworks are going to be made out of terracotta. And I mean, this is just utterly fascinating because the aspect of Propylaea is also meshed in this aspect with Hecate Trimorphos or Triformis, which is like three formed. So it's three formed but also guardian. And it's not just her who has this epithet as well. We also see other gods such as Hermes, her partner in crime in the ancient world, really
Mhm.
shown as Propylaea. And what does that mean for the ancient individuals of ancient Anatolia, which is modern day Turkey? How were the people of ancient Greece on the mainland using this? And how can we kind of bring in these ancient aspects and epithets and titles and modernize them in 2024 today?
Yeah, I find it interesting because a lot of people, a lot of my clients or people that I encounter that ask me questions are always asking about spiritual protection and they worship Hecate. And I'm like, hello, Hecate is a protector herself. So, like,
Yes.
knowing this is why Ten and I get on our soapbox with these things because when you know these epithets and how the ancients were venerating these gods, you can incorporate this in your everyday life. And not everybody that's involved in worshiping the gods, like we said, is practicing magic, but like you might want protection. You know what I mean? Like you're
Mhm.
asking for protection, you're venerating her. Why do we celebrate Depanon? All these things. It's like knowing this is like a very powerful tool in your own relationship with her because she's not a mother of witches. I hate to say it, but like that is new age spirituality. I get why Hekate is associated with magic, but like calling her a mother of witches to me, I just like it's not something the ancients would have done. Like that's not even a term that was used. So like I get the necromancy part falling under magic and like it is really like a new concept. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's like you could do so much. Like Hecate
Yes.
has so many different epithets, and so did the other Greek gods. And I feel like people only hyper focus on like this one aspect because it's cool or it's trending online. But it's like to know Hecate is to study Hecate, and like she is just so many things.
So many things. And why was protection so important to the ancient individuals, both in their everyday life, in their home, in their personal private lives, in the city life itself, and then going into like the religious spaces, these sacred spaces, and delineating those entryways, aspects of sacred versus non-sacred, and all of that kind of stuff. Because at the base of everything with Hecate, that I know Chelsea and I really hyper fixated on with the entire course, was really focusing on, yeah, magic, necromancy, all this stuff slaps, right? Absolutely. We love cursed tablets. We love that the girlies are, binding people thousands of years ago. We love that. But at the core of who she is, especially when you look at her Anatolian origins, which may go earlier than that, we are seeing, especially at sites in modern day Turkey, how important the aspect of protection was. Because I don't think that is stressed enough in how gods, goddesses really interacted with their worshippers and their people thousands of years ago. Everything was about the survival of these ancient individuals. So it could be the people of Anatolia, it could be the people of Greece, it could be, the people of Italy in the Greek colonies there. And it's utterly fascinating because every time that we are seeing this goddess show up, her artwork show up, where we are seeing her in Triformis, it is always having to do with protection. And
Yes.
highly recommend, we talk about the site of Lagina a lot. Open up a map of what the site looks like. And imagine if you were there thousands of years ago, how you would be interacting not only with the site and the temple, but the environment around you, because everything was totally different than it is today.
Absolutely. And like Ten just said, it was a hyperfixation of ours when we did this Hecate course to bring light to some of like the epithets and misconceptions because like the best way to learn about things is to just honestly simply like don't follow spiritual trends or what people are doing online because everyone hyper focuses on one thing, but it's like to really understand and create your own practice and relationship, you have to decide what epithet that you need to be calling upon and venerating and working with and what's going to work for you in your life and like what aspect of Hecate do you want to know? Maybe it's all of them like me, I want to know all the things. I do
Oh,
all the things, but I also do practice necromancy. So it's like I need Hecate for certain things.
absolutely. But you would
So
you
you
would
might
know how
not
to
go ahead.
you would know how to differentiate, that you might need Hecate Cathonia if you're using a curse tablet versus Hecate Propylea if you need protection or delineation at a sacred space versus Hecate Propolos if you need a guide or moving through a liminal space.
Absolutely. So just PSA to the girls. Know
Yes,
your
and
epithets.
no, oh my God, I feel like Dwight from The Office. Know your rules. You better know your rules. So, with that being said, we also, the people were coming out of the woodwork for the Strophalos. And this is just, I don't know why. This is the question I have to all of you out there, all the ghosts and ghouls who are listening. Why? Why the Strophalos?
Yeah, so this was an interesting one because when you Google Hecate, like her strophalos is one of the main things that comes up. And for those of you that don't know what a strophalos is, it is that wheel that you often see associated with Hecate, which Ted and I did a deep dive in the course. I know you touched upon it in like some iconography and symbology. We're gonna keep it short and sweet because we don't want to ruin the course for people, but like it's not something that's associated with her. So
No, one
I don't know
sentence.
why we're using it. And this goes to show you just like the misinformation that people give because they're not deep diving into it because you just see something, you take it and you're like, oh yeah, that's Hekate. And I get it, but like it's just think deeper about the things that you're doing.
Not only that, but investigate. I'm a curious little kitty cat, and I know Chelsea is as well. And we won't take, oh, so and so says this, and that's not a source. So and so is not a source. But with that being said, if you really deep dive on this, you will see more often than not people wanting to attribute this wheel of her to Mycenaean artwork, which also boggles my own mind because I didn't know the Mycenaeans were making a comeback in people's hyperfixations today, because that is something I heavily have studied as an Aegean prehistorian. But the Mycenaeans, as a SparkNote version, the Bronze Age ends roughly around 1200. Hekate doesn't come to Greece until much later. So why are we bringing the Mycenaeans into this? And the iconography that people are saying, the Mycenaeans had this. They did not. I can guarantee you from the bottom of my professional soul, they did not. They were not using it that way, and it is not the same iconography.
Yeah. So there we have it. Like those are the few things about Hekate. And this is really what our whole course is about. Is like what's going on. I know I also at the end of the course, I talk about one of her sacred days that like I personally celebrate, which is Deafnon, and I go into like a whole spiel about Deafnon. There's a guided meditation to meet Hekate in a liminal space. I think that's really important. And we do have resources on all the things that we are talking about. We have a nice little bibliography for you guys. So yeah, just, we just wanted to get on here and talk about Hekate again because, we love to give information to everybody so that you can use it and like use it in your own worship and practice and understand and be like, she's not a goddess of witchcraft.
Yeah, go out there and fight the good fight for yourselves, and lead your own system of re-education to others out there who might be misinterpreting aspects about her.
No, for sure. And listen, I get it. Like research sometimes is really hard and unfortunately Google is just not it's like it
Google's
cannot.
wild.
Oh my God. I sometimes search things just for fun to see what comes up and I'm like, wow.
Wow, I just hurt my own feelings.
You search Hades and the Hades video game comes up.
No, it's absolutely wild, like what comes up. And just as a great reminder for everybody, blogs are not scholarly. Dictionary sources, not scholarly. Encyclopedias, no.
Oh yeah,
Please,
speaking of blogs, Ten
please.
and myself are going to start writing some blogs for our website. So we will keep you posted on that. But if you're interested, you can subscribe to our emails on our website and you will receive notifications of when we drop some blogs on some, some information we feel like talking about that day and just having some more like educational content. As two girls who devote ourselves to the Chthonic, it is our job to go out there and do some re-education. And now you have the knowledge. Knowledge is power here at Sticks and Bones.
Oh, absolutely. Not just power. Power is pizza. All the kind of cool things with that. And, with talking about Hecate and the dogs of it all, we
Oh my God, yes. I almost forgot this story and I was like, I hope Ten doesn't end the podcast because like we have to tell this
no.
story.
And speaking of dogs, you guys have been loving the Cerberus candle, and we've talked about, why are dogs so important in the ancient world with being a apotropaic imagery, and we love the mosaics coming from Pompeii, a lot of which you can see from the Archaeological Museum at Naples. But we, as two girls, two shop owners, have come into some pickles, if you will, concerning some dogs recently. And that is because we had a incident in the store where a great customer reached out and said, "Hey, like I have an issue. We got the order. There's nothing in it." And we were like, "Oh shit." Because we all remember that one time Chelsea and I just didn't close envelopes when we were shipping things out one season. And this individual sends us a video and everything, and we're looking at it. The entire order was cleared out. And for everybody out there wanting to know what's in the box, man. Cerberus candle, which comes with a piece of pottery to, do ancient magic like the girls do, and the Acheron candle, which of course we know the Acheron as a necromantion, which was a sacred temple to Hades and Persephone located on the Acheron River, which of course the Acheron River has mythological ties to being one of the 5 infernal rivers of the Greek underworld. So we've had quite an adventure with this one.
I just don't like the fact that this poor customer, like, we shipped their order. They sent us a video of it being completely cleaned out of the box, like someone had stole it. I have questions for the people that stole this. Now, it's bubble wrapped. I'm
Yes.
sure you don't know what it is till you open it, but are you like not crying and wanting to give it back because you are realizing it says necromancy and there's like a barking dog and guardian on there? And now I would say the Cerberus candle did its duty to its school because it's like it might have protected you from something. Like, you know what I mean? But as imagine stealing from a witch, like, and then knowing that and that's settling in deep in your core of like, I just stole from a metaphysical store. Am I cursed?
Because like Chelsea and I were like just looking at each other like, okay, like there's always going to be porch pirates. Like there's nothing we can do to get that. But like they're bubble wrap, they're the 7-day candles. So like this person probably just took everything and then like unwrapped it at their place or car, getaway car. I don't know. And then like, what do you do when you see this like artwork of an individual raising a shade of the dead and it says Acheron for necromancy? Like, I have some questions. I
I
just want to
mean,
talk.
and you can't even just like throw those away because they're consecrated a certain way. So it's like, you know what? That person got what they deserve. Do not steal from people's porches. And PSA to anyone out there that does that, you might be stealing from someone's box and it's a metaphysical store. So it's so
Like,
interesting.
and then you have like the Cerberus candle, which, as you know, we all know why the ancients were using dogs. But the image not only has a dog chained up, it has weapons, which the ancients also thought would protect them and everything. And it comes with instructions with its own piece of pottery. So, like, I'd be scared if I opened that and been like,
That person got what they deserved. That's what I think. I'm like, you should not have stolen from this person's house. Like, that's
I
truly the
wish.
definition of like fuck around and find out energy. Now you got stolen witch, metaphysical store, ancient magic goods that you can't just throw away. You have to do something with that specifically. And now you got like the Cerberus guardian sitting in your house of like,
I
what the
just
hell?
to be a fly on that wall to like see the reaction of like, what the fuck is this?
I don't know. We had an instance where that happened with a King Hades candle, and I'm like, I would be absolutely terrified if I stole a candle and it was for a god. Like, I'd be like, I'm literally, I don't know. Like, because now you're stuck with this candle. You can't just throw it away. You can't
No,
like disrespect it. Like,
no. Like, what do you do?
I
And
don't know.
it's so true with what you said about like they'll fuck around and find out of it all because Chelsea and I have, after the giggle fits that have ensued after what was this person's face like when they read for necromancy, like I would have paid pay-per-view money to see what their facial reaction was. And Chelsea and I were just, joking around and saying, but what should we do? Like, do we need to put like a conditional curse on this? Like, if somebody steals it, because I mean, the ancient peoples of Greece and Rome were doing conditional curses on, funerary monuments and tombs. So, like, who's to stop Chelsea and Tenn for doing conditional curses on, packages for the store? If it's not for you, don't open.
I really was considering making stickers that have conditional curses on them and putting on the box so that like our customers were not getting stolen from. But it's almost kind of funnier when like people don't know and now I bet they learned the lesson of a lifetime, I tell you that. Not stealing a sacred necromancy candle. And like most people, they hear the word necromancy and they just like think you're like reanimating a corpse in your backyard. Like when we know here at Styx and Bones, it's just communing with the dead. But like people think you're like doing Frankenstein shit in your backyard.
Like, that's my whole thing. Like, if if this individual who stole it is not like listening to Sticks and Bones or like any historian, like not like shit, if they're not even watching like Ancient Aliens, but like, what do the regular people think necromancy is? Like,
Oh, I could tell you because when I told my dad I was performing necromancy, he was like, "Are you bringing people back to life?" And I was like, "Why is that what everyone like knee jerk reaction goes to?" It's like, "Yeah, I have that ability, dad. I'm just gonna go out there, dig up a few graves, and start like breathing life into people, and just keep on with my merry way, like disrupting the whole balance of the universe. Like no big deal. It's
just
fine. Just girly things, just girly things."
like,
That's what people think necromancy is. It has a very bad
that's my
misconception to it. But I mean, it makes my mediumship sound so much cooler when I'm performing necromancy. and it's just simply communing with the dead. But I do Greco-Roman necromancy, by the way. I have Oracle of the Dead readings. I just put some new bookings up for February. I do channeled readings with Hekate. I do readings, the High Priestess readings with King Hades if you need their assistance on something. I do Oracle of the Dead necromancy readings where I will raise the dead forward for you, Greco-Roman style, using that Acheron candle, to be honest. And what else? Oh, I also have some spiritual guidance readings. So yeah, I also want to give a PSA. Like, I do not give advice via DMs. So, like, if you do need help, like, there are services. I also do paranormal diagnoses. So, like, check those out. A lot of people like to tell me their dreams. I can't interpret a dream for you in my DM. That's going to require a whole like. Now I got to get an ancestor forward. Now I got to get a tarot deck. Now I got to put the pieces together. You know, it's not just like it comes to me. Like I have to like sit and like work at it.
What are you talking about? I can't just text you my theories.
No, dude, it requires me to get some incense. I got to get a candle. There's a whole process behind getting an answer to a question that a client has. I think like it's very interesting when I get those DMs because I know people are just genuinely like they don't have anyone else to tell. It's like they're telling me, but I don't know what the dove meant that you found dead on your doorstep means. Like I got to do some research behind that one. I got to call an ancestor up via some necromancy and be like, "Hello,
Hello.
on."
If you want the art historical meaning of what the dove represents, I got you.
Yeah, but you got to do some research for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Am I looking at, Baroque artwork? Am I looking at Northern European Renaissance, like Van Eyck kind of iconography? What are we talking about? What are the girls doing?
Yeah. There's misconceptions about like spiritual people before we go that we just like know the answers to everything and we don't. Like I have to go and ask my ancestors who then maybe are going to tell me or maybe not. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't just like appear in my head of like here is the answer to these riddles 3. Like I have to do a whole.
Chelsea's not a magic 8 ball.
No, that's why like when you book a service with me, you'll see I have incense going. I have candles lit. I've had to cleanse my space. I have to make sure my room is set. I have to make sure I'm feeling good that day. Did I eat the appropriate thing? If I'm channeling Hekate, I can't eat meat beforehand, okay? I have to be vegetarian. So there's a lot of things that goes into it. That's why people say like you're going to have to book a service because I got to break out all this stuff. The girl, I got to make sure I'm cleansed.
Mm-hmm.
Even for you, if someone asks you a question, you're like, I got to go find something that supports that. Hold on.
Hold on. I got to go to my library and flip open this tome of knowledge. Give me 1 second, okay?
Like, absolutely. It's like, I'm telling you, it's a process.
No, it is. And it makes me like flashback to like when I was taking my doctoral exams, which for anybody who doesn't know, it's a 3-day kind of process spread over 3 weeks, but you have to like pass to move on to the next one. So like my broad exam was 8 hours that I was just writing essays and answering questions. And I remember you're not allowed to have notes or anything. Like you literally just have to like go in your brain and like go to your brain's like filing cabinet and try and remember who
Like
said what.
That SpongeBob thing. You know what I'm talking about? Where SpongeBob in the brain is like everything's on fire and he's trying to pull out the filing cabinet drawers and he's like, fire drill.
How did you get this how did you get the film recording of what it looked like when I took my doctoral exams, Chelsea?
You know what, Ten? It just came to me in this very moment. It just went,
Honestly. It's like you're psychic. And then if you pass your general, then you have to take a 6-hour exam the next week on your specialty. And then after that, if you pass, and if you're still alive at that point, then the week after you have to do a 1 hour, what seems to be like a grilling session, which I think I would have rather been crucified. I just blacked out. I don't really know what happened during that hour. I guess I passed. So I mean, I must have answered.
when it comes to tests, listen, this is why I say some people are just meant for certain things. Like what you just described, I'd rather just go summon the dead, honestly. And that scares other people though, where they're like, no, dude, like that's crazy. I'd rather sit in a haunted house with a demon for a night. How much would it take for you to spend the night in the cemetery sort of energy than do
Not
all
much.
that? But like,
Not much.
see,
Maybe a Klondike bar.
everybody has a threshold of things they won't do. And those types of tests for me, it just ain't it.
I don't know. What won't I do? Heights. I can't go on heights, man.
You know,
Heights.
we have this in common. Ferris wheels scare the shit out of me.
My hands get so sweaty and I'm turning into my mother. You ever have that moment in your life where like you reach a certain age and you say something and you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm turning into my mother.
yes, when I'm cleaning my house because I'm stressed and I'm in my schmata and I have like my pledge in one hand and a Swiffer duster in the other. And my mom, she like puts her hair up in like a claw clip. We call it the clutch. Like for like she has her clutch on today. She's ready for business. And I looked at myself in the mirror the other day and I was like, I'm my mom. Like,
It's it's gotten to the point where if I'm just scrolling on my phone on Instagram and a reel comes up and like this person is like has no fear and like not even God can scare them when they're like scaling buildings and like parachuting. Like talking, my hands are sweaty right now thinking about it. Like,
yeah.
Pilar, is that you?
No, and people that shake the Ferris wheel carts, you are some type of crazy because
You
why are you
deserve
doing that?
the death penalty.
Like, especially with me in it. Like, oh my God. Like when you tell someone you're afraid of the Ferris wheel and you're already in the cart and they start going like they're shaking it, like no,
I'll strangle you.
it's not funny. It's not cool. Like heights, you're so right. Heights for me, anytime I'm on an airplane, I'm trying not to die, like have a panic attack.
Mm.
Because when you're going up and you just keep getting higher and you're just like, yeah, I've like later on in life, I've developed a lot of like weird little things that I used to not care about, but now they're just
Yes.
anxiety.
Yes.
And my mom
Absolutely.
said that does happen, like when you get older.
I think the worst Ferris wheel experience, and for anybody who's ever had this and gone on it, let me know your thoughts. But everybody knows my thoughts on Tower of Terror. But I went to California Adventure back when it was like the summer between my senior year of high school and going into my freshman year of college, which Jesus, that was so long ago. And we went to California Adventure, which is across from Disneyland. There is, I think it's called like the Pixar Ferris wheel.
No, I know exactly which one you're talking about,
You
and
know the
I
one I'm
always said,
talking about?
"I am in never going on that thing." I see it in every photo, and I will never, you can never pay me. I won't do
So,
it.
so the catch is, for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, every other cart is like a normal Ferris wheel. You're just in the normal one where it does kind of just, like kind of sway normally, right? Every other one in between those is on a loop, like an oblong oval. And this Ferris wheel cart is on wheels, meaning as the wheel is a churning, this cart is gonna be moving on this oval, meaning at one point in time, you will almost flip upside down. And I am gripping the iron gate on the inside, praying to any God who will answer me. I was screaming as we came back around, please let me get off. And they
Would
wouldn't
you
let me.
say you prayed to Hekate Propa?
I was doing anybody. I did not care. I was just anybody who can get me off of this thing. I was like the way I almost like Hulk moved this iron grate in front of me, like
No, that's scary. I can't.
my heart rate is raised talking about it.
No, and this reminded me really quick before we go. I would like not go on upside down roller coasters when I was a kid. So like the Girl Scouts took us to Six Flags, and the first upside down roller coaster I was forced on was called Medusa, and I should have known then I would be a Greek myth girly. Like it was, they had like this crazy, I'm really dating myself for those who live on the East Coast, Six Flags in Jackson, New Jersey, sorry. They had this big bright green Medusa roller coaster and it was all about like upside down twists, like to represent the snakes in her hair. And I was the only one that like wouldn't go on upside down coasters. And then like I finally was convinced to go on this Medusa one and I went on it like 5 times after.
Oh, really?
I loved it, but it was my first roller coaster was Medusa. So I'm always like, shout out Medusa.
Shout
Gang.
out Medusa. The
Thanks,
girls,
girl.
the girls went on Medusa roller coasters, and the girls at their elementary school book fairs were getting the mythology books, and that was the gateway drug for me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should have known them, but I didn't. I just had like this like I just remembered. And I'm like, Medusa was my first upside down scary roller coaster.
As a Girl Scout.
That's what the girls are doing. Yeah, I was a Girl Scout. See?
I
But
got a question
anyway,
before we go.
oh, go ahead.
How far did you make it in Girl Scouts?
I don't remember. I still have my Girl Scouts jacket with my badges on it, and I will not get rid of
Same.
it. I won't get rid of it. Like it's the one thing in my closet that like, oh, do you remember?
Yeah,
On
duh.
my honor, I will try to serve God and
Consequence.
my country, to protect people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law.
Oh man, I tapped out at that. I was like, I got the motion. I can't tell you anything else.
Yeah, we used to have to say this all the time. Shout out Girl Scouts. I feel like it's a very girl experience to be in Girl Scouts. Like most people usually have been in Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts. I loved it. I can't remember how far I got though.
I think I tapped out at like 6th grade. So I made it. What do you start as a brownie or do you start as a daisy? I don't remember.
Don't know.
I never made full Girl Scout.
No, no. If I could go back in time, I wish I made it to the full Girl Scout.
I don't know if I would. I think I'm pretty happy. I got out, got my cookies. I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, no, I don't know how far I made it, but yeah, shout out Girl Scouts. What a lovely organization. I really enjoyed that.
Cookies still slap.
They do.
Although they
And
changed their names, which I don't understand that.
yeah, that's weird. And why change something that's good? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, can I have a box of Samoas? And they're like, you mean caramel delight or caramel delights? And I was like, what the fuck is that?
What is a caramel delight?
Like
Don't
it's
you just
coconut. Like I guess there's caramel in it, but like it's mainly coconut.
don't you just feel like a boomer sometimes? Like sometimes, and shout out boomers, because I know some of you listen to us. Shout out you guys. For not liking millennials for a weird reason. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I've been seeing a lot of like Gen Z content come up, like I don't know. I don't know the generations too much, but I sometimes feel like an older generation where I'm like, back in my day, 2012, we had Usher playing in the clubs and like we had all the fun music.
We had all the fun
Ludacris
music.
was Ludacris and all over the world in 2012. And like the clubs, David Guetta, like, you know, the club music we used to have, they don't make music like that anymore. And that's the last thing I'm going to say about that. But I feel like, I'm like, man, the music we had used to slap.
Back in my day.
And that's how I feel about like when my dad says, oh no, the 80s music used to slap. And I'm like, you're right.
It did.
But I present to you Usher in 2012.
I bring to your attention, Little John.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. We got so sidetracked, but that's okay because this episode is what the girls are doing. This is what the girls are doing. And we hope that you really enjoyed talking about Hekate Propa. Tenn, take us home. Where can people find us? Where's the course? Where are we?
Where are we? I don't know. Where are we?
It's one day
Any,
after the new moon, so I don't it's okay
who's
if
to
you don't
say?
know.
Happy Dap Dawn, everybody.
Happy Death
But
Dot.
with that being said, you can find our Hekate 101, Hekate's wheel, mythology, history, and practices. You can find that in the show notes. Thank you, Chelsea, for that. You can also find that available on Teachable, and you can also, I'm just choking on my tea right now.
Do you know? Do you
Trying to
know?
you can also find it linked in all of our link trees, all of our beacons. It's going to say take our course, Hekate 101. So you can find that anywhere that you follow Chelsea, myself, Styx and Bones the store, Styx and Bones the podcast, Sticks and Bananas. Those aren't real.
No.
But with that being said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't forget to shoot us an email. Do you have a spooky, scary skeleton story? Shoot us an email. We want to hear all about that. If you have questions for the dead and, want to see necromancy done, go ahead and book a service with Chelsea for the month of February. And I have some pretty cool news. I'm going to be going to Egypt in September. So I'm super excited about that. And more details about that will become available probably when this podcast is already out. So pay attention to that. And Chelsea and I will see you guys on the next episode. Have a great February. I hope the Galentines and the Valentines were all amazing. And go get yourself some incredible chocolate. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.